Hello everyone, my name is Taz and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so before I get into this video of my Meet My OC series, well the next installment of it, this recording that you're hearing right now, it's not planned, but I realized, hey, the video's looking good in editing, I might as well just record the audio right now, so I'm kind of just doing it. So, yeah, and I needed to upload something for this week's speed paint and I had nothing done, so I had to put in the next installment. I have like 2 more ready after this one for this series. But yes, okay, I might just keep the voiceover short to let you guys just enjoy the speed paint. But this is my OC Apatite. So yes, fun fact, Apatite was actually the result of an amino poll, because I was just starting amino and I wanted a new gemstone other than Midnight Pearl, but I didn't really know how to make a new gemstone, so I just put in a poll list of gems and traits and weapons and stuff, and I came to the conclusion of Apatite. Now, lo and behold, Apatite is one of my few wait, do I have more? I think I have more Rebel OCs than I do Homeworld OCs. So yeah, and my Apatite is one of my Rebel OCs. He was my first Rebel OC. And I honestly, I think I started loving him more than Midnight Pearl as I made him, just because he was my first new gemstone other than Midnight Pearl. So I take some, you lose some. I don't really know. I'm sorry, this voiceover is really impromptu. But anyway, I'm going to get into the overall story of Apatite. So I'm going to pull up his backstory, because I actually did type out his backstory, which is pretty lengthy in comparison to my other sonas, but I guess in terms of my Rebel OCs, they're going to be more lengthy than my Homeworld OCs, because, you know, they have their time on Homeworld and then the Rebellion. So yes, so basically after Pink Diamond's death, Blue Diamond did find herself in a very toxically emotional state of grievance, and seeing how bad it was, Yellow Diamond appointed her a personal Apatite. On Homeworld, Apatite are a very spiritual type of therapist. They are able to take the actual emotional well-being of any living thing and manipulate it to, you know, what they need to or want that emotional level to be. They are also mediums who are used. Apatites are mainly used to appease new colonies that still have ghostly residents, or the people who used to live on that colony that are dead now. They are used to negotiate with them or take them out, since they're the only ones that can actually interact with ghosts. So Apatite was appointed to Blue Diamond personally to help her through her grievance of the loss of Pink Diamond. So he did do his best to carry out his work, and he did for a very long time. Apatite actually was successful in temporarily alleviating the grief that Blue Diamond was feeling, enough for her to be able to go about her duties as a diamond. Now, what happened was they were out one, well, before I get into why Apatite rebelled, Yellow Diamond, seeing how much Blue Diamond's emotional state hindered her ability to rule, Yellow Diamond actually set forth a law restricting emotions of fear and anxiety, as they will be hindering towards the progression of Homeworld. So this would mean a lot of work to be put in by Apatite and Apatites around Homeworld as a whole. So by this point, which I'm about to tell you, Apatite was already kind of fed up with his job, because he had to work so overtime, because like it was like fear and anxiety were meant to be eradicated on Homeworld. So Apatite had to really work to not only alleviate Blue Diamond's anxiety and fears, but to alleviate the fears and anxiety of her personal court, which took a lot out of him on a daily basis. I might even do a speed paint of Homeworld Apatite, but the Apatite you see right here is Rebel Apatite. But anyways, Apatite actually rebelled because while he was with Blue Diamond on Earth, as she was setting up for her colony, he actually witnessed a rebel attack, and so he could easily distinguish the difference between the rebels fighting and the soldiers fighting against them. Apatite looked at the soldiers, and they didn't have any form of anxiety or fear or inconsistency. They were just stale. They were just solid soldiers all around, and Apatite could pick out their moves pretty easily, and he thought that if he were able to do that, that means that the rebels probably were able to too. Then he paid attention to how the rebels fought, and he noticed that all of their moves and the way that they carried themselves was very unpredictable. Not saying that Apatite would be able to predict the future, it's not a sapphire, but with the soldiers, he could easily name all the moves and all the actions that the soldiers would take in the midst of the fight, while with the rebels, he couldn't pinpoint where they were or what they would do next. This is all while he was escaping along with Blue Diamond. And so Apatite realized that the rebels did have a sense of fear, a sense of uncertainty, and a sense of anxiety, which prompted them to think on their toes and created sort of unknown atmosphere as to how to handle it. So Homeworld couldn't necessarily figure out one thing about the gems and use that to exploit them, because they were always changing, because their anxiety and their fear and their uncertainty for even winning in the first place would really play into them finding out new ways to get one step ahead of Homeworld. And Apatite began to notice this, and this really pushed his theory that anxiety and fear are very important to the humans, to not the human psyche, but to the psyche in general. Like, they're not useless emotions that cause nothing but trouble. They actually do they do contribute a lot more to decision making and to well-being than people would at least thought. And Apatite really cherished this, and he loved how the rebels didn't care that it was a rule on Homeworld to not be afraid. They were in a situation where they didn't know if they would live the next day, and that was enough to send them off the AWOL. But then that alone, he saw that gave them a sort of mindset of whatever goes goes, and whatever goes we can work with. And he really valued that as a part of anyone, and that's a sense that Homeworld began to lose. So eventually it came to the point where Yellow's rule for no fear on Homeworld finally set in place. For a long time, there was no uncertainty, no anxiety, no fear whatsoever, because the Apatites had already dealt with all of it. And my Apatite couldn't handle just taking people's uncertainty away, because he knew that was a certain aspect of people that should be observed and embraced, and it should be powerful and not pushed away. And he couldn't deal with living in a world where that wouldn't be a reality. So Apatite, without any word, left Homeworld at that. He actually fled during the next rebel attack, and there was no trace of him where he went. All that's known is that next few days he was on the rebel side. So that's basically Apatite's backstory. I guess I could kind of go into some personal stuff about Apatite. For example, the Apatite gem is a phosphate. His facet code and cut is Apatite facet 2JY, cut YNZ. His weapon is actually, he does have a weapon. He can summon two, I guess you could call them handles, and when he slams them together and pulls them apart, it creates an aura chain. that he uses in battle. He was made in the Gamma Kindergarten of Facet 2 YJ on planet Neptune. He is 7,000 years old. He is a rebel. He served Blue Diamond. His role on Homeworld was a medium or spiritual communicator. He does have 2 fusions. Though I might just list them to you once I get to the characters that he can fuse with, as in my other OCs. But he's never fused with Midnight Pearl, so I can't really say anything there. You can already see his appearance, so I'm not going to say anything much about his appearance. Oh, Apatite is French. Just putting that out there. Just so y'all know, Apatite is French. Fun fact, Apatite actually, I forgot to paint this, and I don't know why. I think it was just because I wanted to like show him upon joining the Rebels instead of like current day. But Apatite does have a scar across his mouth, which came from recruiting a new rebel. It was a bit of it wasn't an accident, but it was something that was regretted and was not meant to happen. But he does have a scar across his mouth from an attack that I will probably tell you when we get to the character that caused that. Apatite's personality, he likes very chill atmospheres. He loves clouds. Clouds are as aesthetic as they are mine. Like, I love clouds so much. Fun facts, he hates footwear. Like, Apatite is always barefoot, no matter what his regeneration is. He just hates footwear with a burning passion. He's very strong in a spiritual sense. He can communicate with otherworldly powers that not everyone else can. He sees Earth as a maelstrom of fear and anxiety, and that's the reason why he protects it, because because him cherishing the fact that fear and anxiety should be something that should be embraced, and the fact that there's a planet of people who literally live with it every single day. He wants to protect that. He doesn't want that to become the same thing that Homeworld is. So that's why he fights for Earth. Fun fact, Apatite's favorite holiday is Halloween. He was actually very, very close to receiving his own handful of gems, including a pearl, a sapphire, and a blue topaz, but he did rebel. Apatite usually, one thing that he does besides normal crystal gem stuff is that he will actually find the spirits of animals or any living organism that had died, and he'll keep them in his room so that they can live their afterlife peacefully. This is why I love Apatite so much. And Apatite can also break the spiritual plane just by feeling upset. Like Apatite, when Apatite has breakdowns, the entire atmosphere will become red, and it will crack and it will shatter as a whole. Like it's terrifying. Apatite is fearful of bugs because he hates how they move when they die. They can't just pick are they living or are they dead. He hates that. Another fear that Apatite has is Blue Diamond, because he really regrets the state that he left her in when he had left. And Apatite also has team disbandment anxiety, as in he like fears that one day his team will separate, and he doesn't want that to happen. His abilities, Apatite he can manipulate auras. He has emotional manipulation and dream manipulation, though he doesn't use his dream manipulation a lot. He only uses it when he needs to, because it is very straining mentally and emotionally. It's not physically straining, but mentally and emotionally it is. What else? Apatite is in a relationship with the OC, a friend of mine that I may get into later. You might see speed paint of them soon. Probably. I don't know. Apatite is currently on a team with a few other rebel OCs of mine. He actually, on his rebel team, Apatite is known as sort of the know-it-all for fusion. So whenever there's a new team member that joins and they need help being comfortable with fusing, it's usually Apatite that helps them out with that. I think that is it. But in terms of the real gem Apatite, it is a phosphorus rock from a group of mineral phosphates that share similar physical and chemical properties. They are usually mined to produce fertilizer, acid, and chemicals. The gem is associated with the restoration of kindred awakening after periods of miserable fogginess. Not only that, but it acts as a guide for self-expression and outside understanding, which I think would definitely describe Apatite pretty well. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I just went through a reference sheet that I made for him, but yeah, I'm gonna be posting this on Amino, so you guys let me know what you guys think about Apatite on Amino. I love to hear your thoughts. If I would like for you guys to critique my OCs, like when I make it in the series, I want you guys to critique them. Just because I think it would be really nice to help me to grow my creative standpoint with the characters that I create. But anyways, yes, I hope you all are having an amazing day. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, give me a comment, like let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm open to anything as of right now because I'm not really doing anything really tangible with my YouTube channel. But if you guys have any suggestions, please leave it in the comment section below. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I love you all. Taziart signing out.
Again, round and round again, round again, again, round again, again, round again, again, round and round again. I'm always waiting, anticipating. We're going round, round, round again. Stop and face it, back to basics. We're going round and round again. Power to change anymore.